Another season in the books, but it's time to look towards the playoffs. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Bomber video, our last of the regular season before the Bombers will play in the playoffs in the West Final, hoping to get a victory there and get themselves back to the Grey Cup for the fourth consecutive year. However, we would play the Calgary Stampeders today, and I'm going to be honest, I did not care about this game in the sense that if we got blown out of I do not care if we lost by a ton. We pulled a ton of guys out, and all I cared about was just keeping everyone healthy. That's all that really mattered to me. But I was glad that we were able to actually win and put up a solid performance. So Caleros would not touch the field here. This would be an all Drew Brown game with a little bit of Dakota Prukop sprinkled in. And overall, not bad. Drew Brown would go 2 passing touchdowns, 278 yards, 13 for 17. Pretty good numbers for Drew Brown. There were some people who were completely riding the high horse, like saying he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. No, he is a backup. Could he be a starter somewhere? Yeah, you know, like a team like Ottawa, I'm not going to lie, I could actually see him going because Ottawa takes other Bomber quarterbacks because, you know, they took Terrell Pegram, and, you know, a guy like Drew Brown there could actually win a starting position. But, you know, he's here, and he had a good performance. To go to Prukop would do solid whenever he's in. He's always, it's one of those things though. You see him more in the rushing game than you would in the passing game. However, we do at one point we try to do a fake short yardage, and he tries throwing it. Doesn't quite get it. Actually, almost throws a pick. But it was just kind of, you know, this is kind of a good time to test that play out. And then, you know, if push comes to shove and you're able to pull that off in clutch, then is what is. But, you know, times like these, that's time to practice that. Brady Oliva would be in for a little bit, not very long. Oliva was pretty much in to hit 2,000 yards. So that's like, that's all-purpose yards. So that's rushing, passing, or rushing, receiving, all that. So over 2K for Brady Oliva. Unbelievable season. Good game for Johnny Augustine. Nice to see him get some field time. He'd go for 87 yards rushing. Good in that regard. One thing I will say about the Bombers is that they had a decent first half of this game. And then the third quarter, we'd put up a nice 7. We'd give up, though, 10. So, not the most ideal in that regard. And then we would come back, and in typical Bomber fashion, with a monstrous fourth quarter, 17 points in just the last quarter itself. And that would be the difference maker. And I mean, if we're looking at receiving yards, big game for Rasheed Bailey. Now that some of our other guys we were getting that we were sitting and whatnot, Rasheed Bailey, this was kind of his chance to play a big role, and that's what he did. He had a phenomenal catch. It was like tipped off the defender, and he had to kind of adjust to it, but he still got under it. Wolotarski would go for 71 yards. Nice to see us throwing a Wolotarski, and in a game like this, it's a good time to get some reps in. O'Leary Orange, nice to see him hit the field. Kenny Lawler would hit the field a little bit. Some Greg McRae, Jackson, and Augustine would actually also get some receiving yards. So pretty solid in that regard. But overall, there's not much I can complain about. Goche, he would get a nice 4 tackles. Do we have any sacks? We'd have 1 sack for Schmeckel. But yeah, it was one of those things. We were sitting a bunch of people for this game. Actually, I'm going to look and see if I can find the exact list, just because if you guys do subscribe to Bombers Paradise on Instagram, they're on top of this all the time. He had listed who exactly was starting and who was not. But he had like very specifically mentioned who was not going to be doing this game. Is it on here somewhere? Okay. Well, I don't see it. Well, anyways, point is though, guys like, Nick Dembski was out. Guys like Zach Caleros was out. Stanley Bryant wasn't playing. So had a decent amount of guys out just for, no sense risking him in a game that kind of wins us nothing. And so with Calgary, this game was more important for Calgary. And I know it doesn't matter that much in the sense of that they already are where they are. However, the thing is that Calgary's had a little bit of momentum now. And so it's one of those things where if they want to go in BC and beat them again in their own building, they're going to need to keep that momentum up. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the Western semifinal, as I still think BC is the more likely choice. However, Calgary, they beat a fully lined up BC roster. So there's no saying that they are not capable, certainly, of doing that again. But to be honest, as a Bomber fan, I don't really care who we get. And I think it's just important that when the time comes, we're ready. And I think we obviously hope Dalton Schoen is going to be good. The good news, though, is that I found that after a bye week, we've come out flying. So I hope that we continue that into the playoffs and we continue with that. Big game for Sergio Castillo. That's why, he is on the thumbnail of this video. Obviously, Casino Royale, but Castillo Royale for this. He was just on the game. He was on his game. And it was one of those things where that's exactly what you need. A guy where when you need him to make those kicks and get, at least some points on the board, he's going to consistently hit that. He was hitting them, whether it was 51 yards, whether it was 23 yards, 30 yards, 42 yards, 40 yards. He was hitting everything. So a very good game, very, very good game for Sergio Castillo, and not much you can really complain. He was 5 for 5, and his longest was 51 yards tonight. So very, very good game for Sergio Castillo, and exactly what he needs going into the playoffs. So the question I have for everyone is, how are we feeling? How are we feeling, guys? Because you know what? I am confident in the squad that we have, that not only are we capable to get to the Grey Cup, but God damn it, we can bring it back to where it belongs and get ourselves our third ring in just a short amount of time. I want that. I was saying it before. I said it last year. The dynasty did not die. It was delayed. So it's time to prove that. It's time to get back to the Grey Cup for a fourth consecutive time. Show everyone who's boss. And I'm sure we'll probably see Toronto there again. But, we'll get it done. That's what we got to do. We got to get it done. They got to make sure they're ready for this next game. Because that's all this game was. That's all this game was getting some time for backups and just really getting into that playoff mode and whatnot. And, making sure we keep guys healthy, all that. And so overall, there's not much I can complain about. I was generally pleased. They gave more than I expected. Because again, I had no expectations for this game. I really didn't. I was just happy no one got injured. So overall, let me know what you guys thought of this game in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not to this video already. Also, apologies to anyone who's watching CFL, to any of our CFL Central viewers about the lateness on the preview. Me and Rick have just been extremely busy. Schedules have not coordinated well at all. So my apologies about the late preview coming out for that, but it is what it is. Life happens, I'm back in college, so really busy with all that. But yeah, you guys take care. And, regardless, I hope you guys continue to watch that. So enjoy and take care.
Can they take the lead on this drive?